Was Arya really able to kill the Night King? Or was it the Night King's master plan all along? And if that's the case, it was a mind-blowing plan. What if there is more to this story? How? I'll explain in this video. So stay tuned for that. Hello everyone. Welcome to Ultimate Book Maniacs, your one-stop for book and TV series reviews. I post episode reviews, top 10 and theory videos. So make sure to subscribe this channel, and if you wanna make sure you never miss a video, click the bell icon to turn on notifications. So, let's begin. This time, I want to start with the comment shout out first because this idea came to me because of this theory. So the comment shout out goes to Storbocky. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Anyways, Stor said, "You have about 98% correct, I believe, much more than most people. When discussing the Night King, it is very important to remember a clue that Benjen Stark explained to Bran, that as he was about to die, when the children of the forest found him and put dragonglass in his heart to save him. The dragonglass heals the living, still flesh and bones, and with their humanity intact, but yet neither alive nor dead. The Night King and the White Walker boss are not one and the same. The Night King is a human, the White Walker boss is an ice avatar." Thank you for posting this video. I theorize from the show, the Game of Thrones wiki, and a little from the books. I actually disagreed with you at first about mixed blood until you showed this clip. You taught me something. Thank you, Storbocky. I'm glad my video helped you. Like I had said before, I do believe that the show mentioned Jenny's descent for a reason. And I love your theory that the Night King might still be alive. Without your theory, my theory won't exist either. But mine is a little different than yours. Also, I think Benjen had died, but before the White Walker's magic could turn him into an ice white, the children put the dragon glass into his chest and stopped him from becoming a thrall to the others. And the Night King was alive when the children put the dragon glass in him. Anyways, so once I read Stor's theory, everything started clicking and new ideas started coming to my mind. And you guys know how my crazy theories are. It was like suddenly I could see the whole picture. That is, assuming this theory is correct. Before we begin, if you guys wanna read Storbocky's full theory, you can read it in the pinned comment of my Is the Night King a Greenseer video. I'll put the link at the end of this video. So, let's begin. Just like my Stark Blood theory video, I'll start by asking some questions first. Think really carefully on these questions and you will start to see what I am seeing too. First, where were the other white giants? Remember my season 7 episode 1 review video? In that video, I discussed how Bran saw 3 white giants in the army of the dead. Even in the season 7 finale, you could see 2 white giants standing before the wall, and you can count at least 3 giants who crossed the wall. And we are not even counting the ones who we couldn't see because Mance had a lot of giants in his army in the books. But I only saw 2 white giants in the battle at Winterfell. One was killed by Lyanna Mormont and the second was burned by Drogon on the battlefield. Also, am I the only one who thinks there should have been more whites here? The White Walkers have been killing people for centuries. In addition to that, not only did they get a lot of whites in Hardhome, but they also got a lot more in Westeros on their way to Winterfell, because just like Tormund had said, whoever was not with them at Winterfell had joined the army of the dead. So where were House Clover, House Carvin and House Manderly, etc.? Second, why was Viserion trying to stop Jon from going to the God's Woods? Because as I said in my episode 3 review video, the entrance to the God's Woods was surrounded by the Whites and the White Walkers. They would have stopped Jon from reaching the Night King anyway. The only thing that would have changed was that Arya couldn't have gotten a clear shot at the Night King. Before, I thought that Bran had chosen his position well, so when the Night King would stand before him, it will be to the left of the heart tree, and Arya would get a clear shot at him. But what if the Night King stood there, knowing it would provide a clear shot to Arya? What if it was all part of their plan? I know it sounds crazy, but please bear with me. I'll explain the reason soon. Third, assuming my is the Night King a Greenseer theory is correct, judging by how the Night King can sense and touch Bran in his visions, shouldn't he have seen Arya sneak up on him and kill him? That's where the two Night Kings theory comes in. Remember how there used to be a different Night King before? In seasons 4 and 5, Richard Brake was the first Night King. He was the one we saw turning Craster's son into a White Walker. And then, in seasons 6 and 7, Vladimir Furdyk was the second Night King. I'll call them Night King 1 and Night King 2 to avoid confusion. We have never seen the Night King 2 turn someone into a White Walker. And before you say it, I've already explained in my season 7 and 8 Q&A part 2, that is Whites vs White Walkers video, about why I believe that Viserion was a White and not a White Walker. And I know David and Dan have said in the past that they changed the actor, but the character was the same. But what if they were only trying to mislead the fans? They've done it before. In the Game of Thrones Wikia page, it says, he took over the role from Richard Brake for undisclosed reasons. At least for Dario and Deacon, etc. We knew they got other roles and had scheduling problems. And even Vladimir Furdyk's fan page on Twitter said, Episode 4 is going to have a mysterious twist. There's something twisted and uncomfortable about it. It's so Shakespearean. And while I know it's not the official account, but they've also posted some behind the scenes videos of the battle. So they got to have some kind of approach. And this guy who works on HBO, who is probably the same guy managing the Twitter account, also posted the same thing on Facebook with the picture of Bran and the Night King. Also, when David and Dan were asked whether we are going to see more White Walkers, David said, I'm not gonna answer that. So maybe there's still a chance they might come back, because there are 3 more episodes left, and even if they rest in episode 4 and fight a battle in episode 5, that would still leave 1 more episode. It all points towards one thing, that their story hasn't ended yet. What if the children did the same ritual on someone else too? They were at war with the men, and if they were going to create an army to fight for them, wouldn't they create more than just one? Because one soldier can't win the war. So even though Arya killed the Night King too, the Night King 1 might still be alive. It might also explain why the Night King had 2 different faces, because they were 2 different Night Kings. Or maybe the other one is the Great Other, or someone more powerful than the Night King too. Anyways, that's why I believe that not only the real Night King, aka Night King 1, is still alive, but this was his master plan all along. He wanted them to think they have won. But why would he let a significant part of his army die? I'll explain why. Assuming that Night King 1 was a Greenseer like Bran, he saw that Winterfell was well prepared to fight back. Jon was able to mine and bring the dragonglass to Winterfell during the time it took the Night King 2 to reach the wall with his army. Or maybe he waited on purpose to let the Starks gather in Winterfell. Maybe he even saw the Dragonpit summit and thought in the beginning that Westeros has united, just like Melisandre had told Stannis to do. And speaking of Melisandre, she, Beric and Jon were the only ones who had R'hllor's magic in Westeros, and 2 of them are gone now. The Night King 1 knew they had large amount of dragonglass weapons and 2 dragons. Sure, the Night King 2 had a white dragon too, but he had the smallest one, and Jon and Dany had the bigger dragons. And we all saw how easily Rhaegal tore Viserion's jaw out, and how Drogon knocked Night King 1 off Viserion's back and ripped his throat out. It almost made them equally strong. Maybe the Night King one knew about the prophecy and he was worried that for the first time in thousands of years, he had a chance of losing the war. He had already killed all the children of the forest and many three-eyed ravens who could have helped in defeating him. He also saw that Cersei will betray Jon and Dany. He knew she was waiting to see who wins, and she also had that dragon killing ballista. You can see it in the opening titles too. And I've been saying this from the last season that they only show something which has some kind of importance in the upcoming episodes or seasons, like Arya being at the inn at the crossroads, or the Dread Fort and Deepwood Motte in season 7, or the last hearth freezing over in the first episode of season 8. The Night King one couldn't do anything about the dragon class or the dragons. He couldn't be sure if he could come out of that battle as a winner, so he made a master plan to make sure he wins. He sent the Night King too with maybe half of his army to Winterfell. If they hadn't shown up, Jon would have become suspicious and Bran could have easily tracked them. The Night King one went left towards Deepwood Motte or other houses and villages to increase his army. It's a little bit like what Robb did at the Battle of the Whispering Woods. He sent a part of his army to die so he could win later. If the White Walkers had won, Cersei would have fled with Euron to Pike or the Free Cities. And now that Jon and Dany had won, she plans to kill them off while they are still weak and recovering from the battle. So maybe the Night King is planning to do something similar. Maybe he wants to wait for them to fight and for one of them to kill the other, or maybe for Cersei to kill the prince that was promised, or Drogon or Viserion. Think about it. Once everyone thinks that the White Walkers are dead, would they still need all the dragon glass? No. They probably won't even carry it with them when they will go to King's Landing to fight Cersei. Imagine if they are in King's Landing and one of them wins the war, and then comes the real Night King with his real army, which has all the white giants, wolves, bears, and maybe even ice spiders. Without the dragon glass, they will be in trouble. Even half his army would be enough to finish them off. There are only a few Valyrian steel swords left, and they won't help much. And if Cersei manages to kill one or both of Dany's dragons, the Night King can raise them as his own. This might be why David and Dan kept most of the characters alive, so they could kill them off in the real Great War. Also, remember how I said in my episode 1 review video that the story in the rings was in reverse this time? So Dany hatching 3 dragons were in the end, and in the first picture, we saw a dragon flying over King's Landing burning everything and an army marching beneath him. Notice that there was only one dragon, not 2, but Dany has 2 dragons. Also, remember Dany's vision in the House of Undying? When she walks into the throne room, ashes and snow were falling from the burned and broken ceiling. And then she hears a dragon scream and goes outside to meet her husband and child. I think this time her dead husband will be Jon, just like Sean Kilaki suggested some time ago. And the dead child could be either Jon and Dany's unborn child or her dragons. So maybe Dany hears Drogon's or Rhaegal's voice. Also, the vision Bran saw back in season 6 showed a dragon flying over King's Landing, but the weather wasn't clear. The skies should have been clear if winter was gone, right? So, what did you think of this theory? Do you think the Night King is alive? Don't forget to tell us your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.